Hi everyone, Saurabh Sharma here. So today we have a quiz on the visual pathway. Today is 15th of February, Saturday. So let us see this visual pathway questions. Okay, I'm ready to go. The first question is the conversion of light to nerve impulse, which happens at the retina rods and cones, is known as phototransduction. That should be a simple question to answer. And that happens by hyperpolarization at rods and cones, in which the glutamate receptor is there, the value decreases in neurotransmitter. There is a question based on that as well. Now whenever we see object, there are four senses which is stimulated in the retina: form, light, contrast and color, not the motion sense, which is the answer of the second question. This also should have been done correctly. Now this is a very easy question which is not involved in the visual pathway by which we see optic nerve, optic chiasma, then it goes to optic tract, then lateral genital body, and via optic radiations into visual cortex. And of course the impulse is formed in the retina, that is also involved, but pretectal nucleus is involved in the light reflex pathway. Now there are 6 layers of LGB. This is one step higher question, but you should know this as it is a repeat question, a PYQ previous year question. In the INICT it was asked. In lateral genital body there are 6 layers. Now actually in retina, the rods and cones are forming the impulse. From here the impulse goes to bipolar cells of the retina, then ganglionic cells of the retina, then nerve fiber axons, and then optic nerve. There are two type of ganglionic cells, M and P. M are magno, P is parvo. Ganglionic cells project to the magnocellular pathway, project to 1 and 2 layers of LGB, that is for M for motion sense, while the P cells, the parvo cells, mean smaller cells. Parvo English means smaller. They project to parvocellular pathway, that is as 3, 4, 5, 6 layers of LGB, that is responsible for color, contrast and form sense. So magnocellular pathway is the 1 and 2 layers of the LGB. M for magno, M for motion. In between them there is a inter segmental area known as conio cells, that is also responsible for color, specifically blue color. But this is also pre-YQ, previous year question. So out of 5 questions, 2 questions are PYQ, 3 are I think easy questions. Now let us one, and this question I've answered already. Neurotransmitter is in the Wald's visual cycle is glutamate. That is phototransduction and photoregeneration cycle. That is glutamate is involved. In hyperpolarization, the value decreases. In depolarization in dark, the value increases. Now let us go one step further. A long question, which is false. A photoreceptor layer, that is rods and cones, generate action potential. I told you yes, true. From here bipolar, then ganglionic layer had nerve fiber cells as foundation of optic nerve, true, which contains the cell bodies, true, and latter contains means nerve fiber axons which forms the optic nerve, so that is also true. Now the temporal and nasal fibers join to form at the optic disc and redirected posteriorly out of the eye to form the optic nerve. Yes, intraorbital portion. Yes, that is behind the orbit, behind the apex, behind the eyeball is orbital part of optic nerve. True. Which then goes via optic canal, intracanalular part via optic canal, which I told yesterday, day before yesterday in the orbit topic, via optic canal, then optic chiasma, then tract. Now the axons exit the orbit through the no, not through the supraorbital fissure. That's a wrong. So even if it's a very long question, a simple option is there, D option. The axons of the optic nerve means the optic nerve they pass through optic canal, not the SOF. That is the answer. That's false statement. Now the fibers of optic radiations they pass through temporal parietal lobe. Now if you know temporal lobe has pi in the sky, which we'll discuss in neuroophthalmology, visual field effects. Pi in the sky means superior visual field effect, means the inferior fibers are involved. So inferior fibers are responsible for superior visual field effect. We'll discuss in visual field as well. So fibers of the optic radiations projecting the lower quadrant of the retina or the upper quadrant of the visual field. So that will be passing through. That is a mere loops I am talking about. MEYER. That is passing through temporal lobe. That is why temporal lobe lesions will have superior visual field effect. Pi in the sky. Opposite for parietal lobe. Now, ninth question is also there, but this telegram quiz is hanging. So let us wait a while. All right, the ninth question. See, some people might think it's a difficult question, but if you have done neurophthal, you should know why in occipital lobe the macula is spared. The question is, which is the corresponding to macular area? So this is actually from my book, and it's a red color coded. Red color means it is a difficult question, but still, I've given an easy question over here out of that difficult question. That's C. Which of the following is corresponding to macular area? Now, every area of the occipital lobe is having representation in the visual field. In occipital lobe, the tip of the occipital lobe has an supply which is from MCA, middle cerebral artery, additional supply. That's why macula, it represents the macula part. That was the question. That's why macular sparing is there in occipital lobulation, because the C part is corresponding to the macular area. The B and D part are calcareous fissure upper lower part. The B part is corresponding to inferior visual field. D is for superior visual field. A is not for your level, for peripheral visual field, superior inferior. But you should know at your level that the tip of the occipital lobe, that is C option, is corresponding to the macula, means central retina. That's why macular sparing is there in visual field effects. So answer over here is C. That's the 10 questions or 9 questions. I hope you have done. Oh, there's a 10th question also. Phototransmission time, that is retina impulse to visual cortex, is 124 milliseconds. It cannot be seconds, it cannot be minutes. It is very fast, it is milliseconds. That's the 10 questions. I hope you have done well. Thanks for listening. Best wishes.